this sun of ours is definitely different from years gone by. And it's been changing for years now. In the last few years, it's been noticeably different than our youth. And I'd say since this last eclipse, it's made a big jump into a whole different sun. But what is that? Solar maximum? Sun flares? It seems to be going and lasting with this type of look right now for months, since April. We could have so many theories about it. But knowing that it's been changing for so many years, and now it's, I would say, since April has been a massive change. Is that part of the Mandela effect? I mean, it sounds crazy, but if you know anything about the Mandela effect, it's groups of people that are experiencing different memories of things like movies, things in life, even personal things of themselves and people around them. Now, I know it's easy to say, well, it's just a faulty memory. Memories are not very good. Right. But these memories are very intense, very real memories of things such as movies, people, life events. And they've been changing. And it's not massive changes, so that's why I can understand why people would say it's your memory. But you know when you've been Mandela affected, you know what you're talking about. If someone says they've been Mandela affected and they tell you what it was and what they remember, when someone tells me this, I believe it. As hard as it can be sometimes, even if your own personal Mandela effects, it's hard to believe people sometimes because it's instinct to just say, no, that can't be. But I believe it. You know, you have to dig down deep and really give people the benefit of the doubt that they're telling the truth. And something weird's going on. But what I want to say is, if movies can change, something experienced in your past has some detail change. Well, that's what else is changing. Are we changing? Are we changing and not even noticing it? Like physically? And wouldn't that include our minds? I mean, this is like a domino effect. I mean, what else could be changing? Planets? Our sun? Could our sun be changing due to a Mandela effect? I think during that solar eclipse, wasn't there a running of CERN? Who knows if that's even part of it. This could all be natural. It could be a natural occurrence for our sun to go through some sort of major phase that's noticeably changing the brightness. We don't know. Could there be some sort of physics involved here on Earth that we're doing that's causing Mandela effects, and is the sun part of it? Did it just go through a change and now it is what it would be in some other dimension, right? Maybe we're getting the sun from the second dimension, 2D, and we're moving into the 5D, and The fifth dimension is saying, hey, this doesn't look right because it's changing through dimensions. That's far-fetched. I'm just throwing stuff out there just to be devil's advocate for certain things. But anyways, we know that it's changing. We can see it. Some people, maybe they don't see it, and that's why I bring up the Mandela effect. If you mention, hey, the sun looks so bright, brighter than what I ever remember, and somebody is saying, no, it looks like it's always looked. Mandela effect. It's even affecting our sun. And that could be what we're dealing with. But if our sun has changed, there's got to be some other changes here and there, maybe even out there, that things are going different now. Could it be part of retrocausality? Things we're doing in our present are changing things in the past, and is that even causing us to flip through timelines? Could it just be natural, nothing to do with CERN? Or maybe to do with CERN and the fact that it was built. It's like the butterfly effect. You built it, might not be the actual thing physically changing our world, but just the idea of it being built threw us into some other type of timeline. It's like when you're driving down the street and you come to a fork in the road, you have options to go whichever way. Option A, option B, maybe even an option C, straight. But what do you might choose a route from a different route, and things can change. Your whole life can change. Taking the long way home when you take the short way every day. You go take the long way, just do it on a whim. Instantaneous change. Like you're going to go on the short way and just be like, no, I'm turning left. I'm going the long way. Does that have an effect? It's going to have an effect as you're going the long way. You're changing something, right? But how big is the change? Is it really going to affect your future? Then does that have some sort of weird effect on our past? Retrocausality is that changing what our past experiences were? And does that somehow have some sort of support into the Mandela effect? Possibly doing these things causes us to shift into certain realities, and does that have some way of maybe spearheading the whole moving up to the fifth dimension scenario? And as we move into the fifth dimension, possibly that's why we're starting to actually see and notice these changes. These changes might have always been going on, but now we are becoming more aware. But what does that mean for the people that don't have that experience and aren't seeing what we are seeing? Or they don't see it because it's always been the way it is right now. To them, it is normal and has always been that way. And they are adamant that that's the way it is because it always has been that way for them. This is very interesting ideas here. And we're never going to get a clear answer until maybe we meet our maker. But unless we give ideas out and exchange ideas, we need the exchange of ideas because that helps us understand our world. And for me, what I can see from it is it would help us get through the day-to-days of our world. Trying to deny any of this is happening, we stay locked into the old ways. But this world is changing. And for whatever reason, whatever's causing the change, it's going to change, and it's good to be able to exchange ideas so we stay growing and being able to handle our new world the way it's happening, the way it's coming. I know the strangeness that goes with this Mandela effect is some people have several Mandela effects, others have very few. And I know a person in particular that will probably own up to 2 Mandela effects. They definitely remember a thing a certain way, and when they find out, and I've told them and showed them, and how it's different, not the way they remember it, they're completely flabbergasted. They are just the way you think someone should be when they notice the Mandela effect. But almost instantaneously at the same time, it shuts off and they move on to getting coffee and eating their donut. It's like really weird. It doesn't have the same effect on them. Prolonged effect. The immediate effect is, oh my gosh, wow, that is so weird. And then it's like, well, so where are we getting our coffee today? And it's like, it's unbelievable how it affects certain people mentally. For me, I got many Mandela effects, and I can't shake it. These are things that you keep looking into. You can't change it. There's not going to be a real answer for you ever, that I think, until upon death. Maybe not even then, but you can't solve it. But I love digging into it and holding on to it because I don't want to forget what I remember. It actually helps me cope with this new world that I'm slipping into. But I digress. The sun, is that sun part of a Mandela effect? Did something happen and this sun came from it's just from a different place because it happened almost overnight, and now we're stuck having to be blinded every single day when we go outside. The glare is intense. The glare off plants and ground is intense. It's not the same. And if you ever drive east, west at the time that the sun's rising or setting, it comes through those windows like you can't believe, like it is a laser beam. It's so intense. It's hard to believe that it's some sort of solar maximum or flares we've been on this earth for quite some time, and some of us have been here a number of years, and we know it's not the same. You might be driving that same road many years, and it's not the same. I know if you're over 50, you look back to your childhood, you're saying the sun was yellow. Sure, during the summer, I remember the sun being bright, right? During noon, 1 o'clock, you know the sun was bright. I've looked up and it's a bright sun. Summertime, warm days. But the sunsets were more bearable. Most definitely, when the sun was setting, it was comfortable to look at, even during the summer. Right now, it's intense, and it's been that way for years. And after April of this year, 2024, I can't even. I don't even look at it. It's just. It's too much. It's too much. So what is that? If anybody out there has any ideas, even just to post and comment that you're experiencing this and you see it, it keeps people sane. We're not the only ones experiencing it type thing, right? Everybody wants to feel that they're not going cuckoo. And as long as we can comment and let each other know that we're not alone in what we're seeing. Now, you don't have to believe that there's a fifth dimension. You don't have to believe that there's a simulation theory going on out there. It's not about the simulation theory of life. It's not about religion and Christ, coming in the return. But what if that has something to do with it? I know there's religious people out there, and that's part of their Bible, and there could be some truth to that. I won't take that off the table with religion. That Christian Bible, and I'm sure other Bibles that I have not read, but I've read the Christian Bible, there's got to be some truth in there. I'll be honest, there's things in there that I think I would not really pay too much attention to, but there's definitely some things you'll have to be able to use your discernment, but there's things in there that I believe have truth. As far as it with going with the sun, maybe somebody out there has something to say about it from that point of view, from their beliefs. An atheist, what do you believe is going on with the sun? It's just solar system out there, and what do you think is actually going to happen with the sun? Explode? Swallow the earth? Turn off? I don't know. I would be curious to know what atheists think. I think there's going to be a lot of theories, but it would be great to keep everybody in the loop, especially with all the funky stuff happening in this world. Sure, the weather is changing. Why? Too many theories on that as well. I think it's just safe to say we won't know for sure, but I think it's comfort to let everyone know that we're not alone in thinking something's off. So let me know your thoughts. I'd like to hear them, and I'm sure others would love to hear them too. Let's take care of each other. Like, comment, subscribe. I'd appreciate it. Thanks, guys.